Broadsword calling Danny boy.
Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Another anomaly or bunch of anomalies on Mars. This is from the Opportunity rover. This was taken a number of years ago. The link will be in the description as usual and in the video. It's a black and white image, quite large. You can download it here. I'll put the link in there anyway, so you can do that even if you're on a mobile device. Okay. It's a perspective view of Botany Bay, which is right on the edge of Endeavour Crater here. That's the edge of the crater. This is actually the western edge of the crater, I think. I've got it up in Google Mars as well. We'll have a look at that in a second. There is a version without the annotations on that you can get. You can just scroll down and you can click on this little link here and that'll take you to the unannotated version. So you can have a closer look at that without the lettering in the way. Right, let's crack straight on with it. This is it's a strange image, this one. They've actually zoomed out of the image here, perspective view with vertical exaggeration. So basically what they've done is they've zoomed back, almost as if you're looking at Google Mars here, and then kind of zoomed it away from the image, which is kind of weird. Why don't they just show it in its full resolution? I mean, it's probably done for the perspective so it looks more natural, but actually it's harder to look at the image because it's further away. So you're actually losing information from the image by zooming out of it here. So we're not actually seeing the image as it should be seen, really. So they kind of obfuscated the image already to start with. And there are a few other things about this image which is a bit strange, which I'll show you now. First we'll go to Google Mars here. We've got Google Mars up with the same area. See, this whole area has been surveyed by the Opportunity. This is where it is now, I think, and that's probably where it started, or the other way around, I'm not sure. Okay, yeah. This is where it started here, and it's come all the way up here. So it's taken a couple of years to get that far. The crater itself is pretty large, but most of it is in low resolution. Like most of Google Mars is absolute rubbish. You can't gain anything from this at all. It's just a load of blurred out, smudged rubbish. But luckily, we got some close-up views of it from the Opportunity, so we're going to have a look at that now. I've got it up in my graphics program here. We'll have a close look at the image. Now this is how it comes, the unannotated version. There's the one with the lettering on, and the annotated version there. This is the one you want, really. It's not huge, but it's not a small file. Right, okay. Right, now this is the area we're looking at here. Particularly, there was something, hang on, sorry about that. There was something interesting up here. Now, if I've not done anything to this, this is as the image comes. I zoomed in here and I thought, well, there's something weird going on here. You can actually see a straight line here and a straight line here. And there's a sort of weird square sort of shape here. There's a square and another square with right angles, and there's a strange sort of crater type thing here, like a tennis racket thing with almost like a handle on it. That got my attention straight away. This structure up here looks to be some buildings. So what I did is I did some enhancements. There's also, I'll show you the enhancements in a second. There's also something I spotted straight away. Now, even without doing anything to this image, you can see some parallel lines here. There's a whole bunch of parallel lines in this area here near the bottom of the image. There's some more right angles and stuff in here as well. There's quite a lot. In fact, I've only just started on this. There's probably a load more. I think there's an awful lot of stuff in here as well on this ridge. There's a lot of straight lines coming down. Don't know what that is yet. I haven't even started on that. There are also, by this strange sort of mountainous area here, seems to be some buildings here. I mean, these may be natural structures, but they look suspiciously like they might be buildings. Some very straight lines here. So there's three areas we're interested in. This is the missing bit here. I think that's just where the image was compiled. They left a bit of data out. There's nothing much there. But so there's this area here at the top. There's this area here near the middle. and this area here at the bottom, which we're going to look at now. So what I did is I clipped out each part. Now first we'll start with the top. Okay, this is the top. Let me find let's get rid of that. There we are. There's the clip. Now what I did is I clipped it and enlarged it and increased the DPI to 2000 dots per inch. And I've clipped it back to 1280 by 720 here. Okay. Now the image is very pixelated. This is as it looks when you enlarge it or zoom in. But you can clearly see a straight line here and a sort of triangular shape here. And if you sort of squint a little bit, you can see what looks like a square area here, and another sort of rectangular sort of area here, and another sort of strange elliptical shape here with another rectangle. And there's all sorts going on in here. Now the problem is, because of the resolution isn't brilliant on this. I think this was taken by HiRISE, or one of the HiRISE satellites. So the only things that are going to show up are large, and they're very large. When I say large, I mean this is if these are buildings, they are really big. Now this is an enhancement I've done of that part of the image there. I've just drawn around it and highlighted the structures. Now when you really darken it up, you can see these. I'll show you that. I'll just darken it up quickly just to show you what I mean. Let's darken it right down for you, and then you'll see some of this stuff. There we go. Now you can see the triangle, you can see the straight line here, you can see there's some sort of structure here, and there's a rectangle and another rectangle here. So now, but you need to blur it up a bit. You need to really push the contrast around to get any sense out of this. That also seems to be a building here on this side here, and this up here, and possibly this here as well. There's a lot in here, but because we're zoomed out, we're at quite a distance from the surface. It's really hard to get much more than what I'm getting here. You may be able to do better. I mean, there are some of you guys out there who are really hardcore Photoshop geeks like myself, who are probably better at it than me, who may be able to squeeze a bit more. You've really got to blur it up though, because it's very pixelated, so I blurred this quite a lot. But there seems to be a building here, which is fairly clear actually now, looking at it again. And this triangular structure here is very strange, and there seems to be buildings in here. There seems to be a building here, and up here up in the corner, and there's something there which I haven't highlighted, but there's some weird stuff going on here. This looks like some kind of base or something. I mean, this may just be a crater here, this circular thing here. Who knows? It could be part of a building structure, I don't know. But this all looks very manufactured to me. And you can even just look at the raw image and tell there's something strange there, especially this thing here. That looks like a building, and you can see this corner here and this corner here quite clearly without doing anything, and then there's another right angle there. So there's definitely something in there. I've tried to squeeze it out. It might take a bit more work to do. I'll probably have to try and soften it up a bit more and sharpen it up a bit more, but this is kind of what you get. I mean, I've just highlighted it for the purposes of this video. I may do a part 2 on this if I find any more stuff here, but we'll move on. There's other stuff to see, so let's go back. Let's move those out of the way. Okay, let's get them over there. Don't need them. I will put clips of these at the end of the video like I normally do to show you in a bit closer detail, and I'll kind of zoom in a bit so you can really see what I'm getting at here. Right, now this is the bit near the centre here, by this sort of crater and mountainous structure. We're going to have a quick look at that. Now this, to me, I didn't notice straight away, but when you sort of zoom in, you think, well, there's some very straight lines here. I mean, this one here particularly, these look like buildings of some sort. I could be wrong. It may just be the resolution of the camera is too low and it's making them look like straight lines, but I don't know. I mean, this may be the case in some ways, but you know, a camera doesn't tend to do that necessarily, even a low res shot at a distance, it won't give you a straight line unless there's some kind of straight line already there. And these have straight shadows here, like you can see one here. And there's sort of darker areas in between. I mean, that to me looks like a bunch of buildings. I mean, I could be wrong, but there are lots of people finding buildings up there now, and not just in this area, but there's all sorts of stuff in Gale Crater. People finding buildings, and I've found tons of stuff in Gale Crater, as you probably know if you've seen my channel already. Right. Okay. So that was the buildings. Now we're going to have a look at this lower area here, which is the bit which I found most interesting, really, because there's some very symmetrical looking structures. Now, one thing you may want to try if you download this image is to turn it to negative, like I've done here. I've really darkened it up as well. It seems to make more sense when you flip it to negative, and you can actually see better detail here, and it just helps when viewing and stuff. Now, this area at the bottom here looks very similar to something I found on Google Earth a year or so ago, and it's one of my videos, a kind of sunken city in the Atlantic under the ocean. Now when you zoom in, now this has been darkened up so you can see it better. You can see these parallel straight lines running across the image here, and some parallel lines running down here, and there looks to be like a square grid sort of city structure with roads and stuff. There's also some parallel lines here, one there, and there's one here, they're curved, another one here. That may or may not be anything to do with it, but there also seems to be a line running across it. I mean, the more you look at this image, there seems to be all over the place. This is the best part here, near the bottom of the image. There's also some stuff over here. There's a nice square sort of building there. There's lots of straight lines in here, like there's roads and stuff. Now, it does make you wonder why they landed the rover here. I mean, maybe this is what they wanted to take a look at, because they would have had a pretty good view of it from up here. This is where the rover, you can see this line here, this is where the Opportunity went, and it sort of drove along here, and then obviously it's gone a lot further than that now. This image is quite old. But from this ridge up here, from this elevated area, they would have had a very good view down onto the edge of this crater here, and would have probably got some really good photographs of it, which obviously we're not seeing. So maybe this is what they landed there for. They didn't land in the crater because they might not be able to get back out of it, so they've landed on the ridge of the crater to look into it, and then driven around to check out this other stuff up here. And this may well be a military base. Much like I think Mount Sharp is in Gale Crater. I mean, I found so many aircraft and boats and ships that look like military stuff in Gale Crater near Mount Sharp, that I do wonder whether that's what they're after. They wouldn't spend billions and billions of dollars sending multiple rovers up to Mars just to drill some holes in a rock or a pebble, you know. I mean, they must be after something, or NASA are a military organisation, and people forget that. And hey, why the hell not? If there's tech up there that could be useful, I mean, why not? You know, you can see this particular rectangle shape here better now in this image. I've really darkened it. You can see that rectangular building with a sort of part on top, you know, sticking up like another building on top there. This bit here, it's not a perfect square, this bit. There's something else going on here. You can see some other structures here. I'll just brighten that up a bit for you, actually. Let's see if we up it, if that helps. Yeah, there we go. You can see that quite well now. This rectangular building, and another one here, and there's something going on up here as well. So yeah, there's all sorts in here. Chris over at Mars Anomalies would probably love this image. He may have already done parts, or I think he's done areas nearby here actually, in some of his recent videos. I know he's a big fan of the Opportunity. But yeah, I mean, you could really go to town on this and spend a long time processing this to get more out of it. I'm sure there's an awful lot more here. This is only one part, and this bit here, I'll just show you a comparison of this. Now I brighten up. It's a bit hard to see when it's that when it's that bright, you've really got to darken this up. So what I did is I clipped it out. I took a clip of it. Let's move these out of the way. And I enhanced it. Now this is the first one I did. I just drew around it and selected it and darkened it. And I've upped the contrast. Now you can see the long straight lines here. Now these are miles and miles long. There is a scale guide for this somewhere, and this is huge. This crater is probably 100 miles across. You know, so we're looking at a couple of miles. Probably this area here is probably a couple of miles across here. So if this is a structure, then it's a city structure. You can clearly see some right angles here. There's one here. There's some up here. There's loads and loads of parallel lines running across the image here. And there's some coming down here. I mean, they're all over the place. I'm only focusing on the clearer ones here. I'll show you the actual clip I took. The enhanced clip. Let's move over. I've lost it. Where's it gone? Oh, okay. What I'll do, we'll go into the viewer and I'll show you the actual clips that I've done. Blah, 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 blah. There we go. Right, where is he? Okay. Here we are. Yes. There we are. So you probably get a brighter view of it now. There we go. You can see nice long straight lines here. That to me reeks of a city structure. And if you compare it to this, now this is a video I did over a year ago. This is on Earth in the Atlantic Ocean. Now if you look carefully, I'll make this full screen so you can see it. It's a little bit dark, this, but if I enlarge it, you can see. Now this is near the Azores Islands in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean towards Africa and Spain. It's between the Canary Islands and the Azores. Now this is a large city structure that may well be millions or, well, tens of thousands of years old at least. I mean, it's underwater, you know. Now look at these right angles. There's a grid-like city structure with long, straight, parallel lines. Now this is directly from above, so we're seeing this on Google Earth directly from above. And I'll show you where I'll put a link to this in this video in the actual description, so you can check this out. So this is kind of what we want to be looking for on Mars, really. Symmetrical, long, straight, parallel lines with symmetrical structures and rectangles and squares and stuff like that. Okay, we won't spend too long on that because we want to get on with this video. But you can probably see it better now. I mean, you can see that quite clearly, that sort of grid pattern. This is the video. Atlantis, Azores, new pyramid and city discovered underwater, and Antarctic alignment. So this is one I did last year. So you might want to check that out. So yeah, okay, we'll go back to where were we? We'll go back to this. Okay. Now take another look at this. Look at the similarities here. We have long parallel lines. We have squares and rectangles going right across here, and in fact it probably stretches throughout this whole area, and we're only seeing the tip of it really. And there seem to be some square structures in here. That's the untreated version. Let's find the this might be it here. No, that's not it. Sorry. Got too many images here. Let's move them out of the way. There we go. Let's have a look at this one. Let's have another quick look. There we go. Darkened up. You can see these long straight lines and right angles. So there we go. I mean, I recommend you download this and have a good look yourself. It's really easy. Just darken it right up. Change it to negative, perhaps, like I've done here. Then you'll see them in a sort of different way. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that lovely right angle. That's absolutely perfect there. And there's some lovely ones up here. Really, really good rectangles. I mean, what can I say? Mother Nature does not build in straight lines, as they say in the film Prometheus. You know, and this is what the rover was probably sent there to have a look at. You know, why not? It does seem a rather coincidence that the rover landed here, and there was a city structure right there, and there's another one up here, and there's all sorts going on in this image. There's loads and loads of stuff going on. You can you can see it before you even do anything to this stuff. There looks like to be buildings and loads and loads of structures. Okay guys, I think that's it. I will put clips of these at the end of the video so you can have a closer look. Let's get right in closer. I mean, this particularly here, to me, I mean that is a city or a very large town. I'll give you a scale for it in the description so that we can work out how big this stuff is. But the stuff up here, I mean, before you even do anything, you can tell there's some sort of huge buildings up here. I mean, this could be a military base, it could be a city structure, it could be an airport. I mean, who knows? It could be all of the above, or none. So I'll leave it there. I'll put these clips in right at the end for you. I'll have a link for that Atlantis Azores video in the thing as well at the end. And there we go. This is what you want to download. There we are. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope that wasn't too long for you. Thanks to all my subscribers, and I'll see you soon.